Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time, Wednesday night edition. Lovely to have you guys here for another episode of the Prime Time Show. No practice, or at least no open practice for the Titans today. We'll be back out on the practice field tomorrow, and looking forward to getting back in the swing of things out there before I fly up to Chicago for this team's first preseason game. We're going to talk about the latest in stadium news. A video was produced this morning with some updates for Titans fans to kind of get more information on what it is that the new stadium plan will offer and where you need to go to get your questions answered. Basically, over the course of the next 4 years, it's a real slow burn process for this Titan stadium plan, as is the case for any NFL stadium or any large-scale construction that we would talk about. But for the purposes of fans, there are a lot of questions that have obviously popped up, and we hope to answer some of those for you throughout the course of this evening's show. You'll see the stadium video, and we'll talk some Titans football as well, a little depth conversation later on, rising and falling candidates of the sports week before we wrap things up tonight. We are going to get all of this underway and get into this great content with you right after you share this show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. If you're hanging out on Twitter, please retweet the show. Bottom right-hand corner of your screen is where you do so. Facebook Live, you can share now to public. That's in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. YouTube or Twitch, subscribe to the channel, throw a like on the video, and we'd be grateful for you that way. If you've done both of those things, tell a friend to do the same. And once you've done that, more of you guys will trickle in here as we get up and rolling. Let's go ahead and get it started. Welcome into A to Z Sports Prime Time from the palatial Rising Estate. I'm your host, Buck Rising, and I am proud, as always, to be presented to you by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry. Wherever justice demands, that's what Amanda J. and her great team offer to you. Music City Malik in the comment section on YouTube says it best. Amanda J. don't play. You know that's for damn sure. AmandaJGentry.com is where you go. And of course, True Math Fitness in the Gulch. TrueMathFitness.com for your first workout free as a Middle Tennessee resident. The best workout plans, the best coaching staff, the best facility at TrueMathFitness.com. So stadium stuff is always going to be interesting, and you know, it's a slow burn, right? We're several years off with the Tennessee Titans getting into their new stadium. Breaking ground apparently is going to get underway in the near future, but at this point, you understand that 2027 is probably the season that they are going to open that thing and play actual football games in. Ahead of the 2027 season, it should be the target date that I think everybody is kind of circulating around right now. And it's an exciting situation. It's incredible. The renderings look incredible. We're going to play for you the video here in just a moment. But as you look at the Titans stadium plan, there's a lot of questions that have arisen. Now, they've created a website specifically for you guys to get the answers to some of those questions. And we will go through some of that here together. But first, I want to start with your Two Rivers Ford take on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. What is your biggest question about the Titans' new stadium plans? We'll go through some of them together. I'll answer as many as humanly possible and go through the resources that you have at your disposal. Jacob Ray says, Buck, please mute the video. Awful music. Jacob, you have to be the only one who has that opinion. I cannot believe that anybody would come away from that video thinking anything but the music was perfect for the kind of atmosphere that they wanted to present. I thought it was outstanding. But you know, you're entitled to your personal opinion. I would just say that you are certainly in the minority there. How much are my tickets going to go up? Yikes, says Corey D. Jackson. Well, I had a couple callers on the radio show today that kind of spoke to what the price increase would be for them. And you guys know that I've never purchased season tickets, obviously, by nature of my attendance at your team's football games being a part of my job. I don't pay for tickets. I go for work. I get my I always have my same seat. I always have my same parking pass, and that's been the case for the last 7 years. So this is an area where you guys have more expertise. Many of you guys have more expertise than I actually do. Demetrius says Austin from A to Z hates the music. Somebody earlier said the morning show on 104.5 The Zone hated it. Yeah, well, they're wrong. That's a dumb opinion. That's a terrible opinion. It's an incredible video. The music was awesome. I even Shazammed the song from the version of Ring of Fire that was done on the video. I thought it was exceptional. I really, really enjoyed it. So, like I said, everybody's entitled to their opinion. That just happens to be an incorrect opinion, and that's okay. We will get to the video momentarily here in just a second. But again, what is your biggest question about the stadium plans that this team has in place? We will discuss at length together right after I remind you that your Two Rivers Ford take is made possible by the wonderful people at Two Rivers Ford. Go to Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet for quality American-made Ford vehicles. Two Rivers Ford is the place that you go for the best in the business. What Two Rivers Ford does offer you is the kind of award-winning customer service that you have come to expect over the last 40 years. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet or online at tworiversford.com. So while Robert gets the stadium video, I'll take some of your questions here about the stadium situation on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. B-Friend says, agree, music sucks. Sorry, but listen, I completely understand. Some of you are going to have the opinion that the music sucked. I don't care about the music. The music is a small piece of the stadium thing. If your biggest hang up in the music, then you have no issues whatsoever. Demetrius Conwell says correctly, parking, and parking. I'm assuming that you guys are going to have, I'm assuming that my parking pass is not long for this world. You know what I'm saying? For exactly the reason that I just stated. I don't pay for my parking, right? I assume that fans are going to have access to the media lot here in the near future, and that parking is going to be at a premium. They still have not answered the question of parking to enough people's satisfaction. That is not something that you can find in the frequently asked questions section of TitansNewStadium.com. That is the resource for people. TitansNewStadium.com is the place that they have launched for this specifically, and they do have a frequently asked question, an FAQs section about the wait list, about current PSL and suite holders, about the seat selection process, stadium details in general. But there is nothing about the parking situation anywhere to be found. So I think that is for those people who attend on a regular basis, it is something that I know a lot of people are concerned about. But they put out this new video today to announce that the wait list would be launched. This is the video courtesy of the Titans PR team.
Burns, the ring of fire. Burns, the ring of fire.
Okay, so that's the new video, or the video of the new stadium renderings. We can get through these things in just a second. On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, we'll continue to talk about the questions that you have right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is made possible by the wonderful folks at the Gary Ashton Group of Remax Advantage, the Ashton Real Estate Group of Remax Advantage. GaryAshton.com is where you go for the intel edge you need to succeed. The official real estate agent of the Nashville Predators is GaryAshton.com. So the new stadium renderings are awesome, right? I know some of you noticed the idea that, the Cumberland River wasn't anywhere to be found in said stadium renderings. That is obviously a big feature of what it is that makes the Titans' current property situation awesome, and I think unique to itself. Now, there's other stadiums that have riverfront access across the NFL, but downtown Nashville, the connection to the pedestrian bridge and Lower Broadway, of course, the Cumberland River splitting the difference between the east and west banks there. You understand that the Cumberland River is a big piece of what makes Nissan Stadium, the current Nissan Stadium, really aesthetically pleasing. But I would say that the Titans Stadium renderings are just that. It's just renderings right now, so I wouldn't get too bent out of shape about the idea that the video team for the company, and I can't remember the name of the company. It was in the bottom right hand corner of the video that produced said video. But I would say that the fact that they didn't include the Cumberland River is not of the greatest concern. We all understand that the Cumberland River is going to be there whenever they put the stadium in, right? Like, it's not like they're moving the river anywhere. Demetrius says, when will the name of the new stadium be announced? I'm sure that's nowhere close to happening at this point. And I'm sure it'll be, I'm sure people like, what is Pittsburgh called now? Like Acrisure or something like that instead of Heinz Field. Like, I'm sure it'll be corporate. I'm sure it'll be goofy, like Smoothie King Arena or something like that. Nissan Stadium is okay. But where corporate companies get involved, any money is good money at that stage. And so anybody willing to spend on stadium naming rights, I'm sure, a couple of those companies. I mean, Geodis Park is not bad. Like, Geodis is one of those that I think works, even though it is obviously a corporate company that does not necessarily have anything to do with Nashville or soccer or anything of that nature. Geodis Park is, if it comes out looking like Geodis Park or sounding like Geodis Park, it'd be fine. Corey D. Jackson says, sad to say Henry will be gone. That is a good question that we should have asked. How many current Titans on this year's team will play in the new stadium in 2027? I know Blaine and Mickey talked about that earlier today on their show. I would say, less than 10. If half the team already turned over this between last year and this season, more than half the team turned over between last year and this coming season, I would say that under 10 or 10 is probably the over-under number that I would set, and I would take the under at that point. Levis and we'll see, right? Will Levis would then be close to being on his second contract with the Tennessee Titans. Tajay Spears, this year's rookie draft class, I would still take the under on that at this point. Jeff Simmons would be towards the end of his career. Derrick Henry likely would be done with professional football by 2027. We'll see what happens with the Titans roster, but that's not necessarily important at this stage. I would say to you that the biggest question that I have about the Titan Stadium is also parking, not just because it also now affects me where you guys are going to park, but because I think that is the biggest question that can be answered sooner rather than later. I understand why the price points for new stadium seating is not out there. They don't have a stadium yet. And, pricing may be different in 2026 and 2025 than it is in 2023. We'll see. But I would say that for the Titans and for the fan base, the biggest question that I have right now is, where are they going to put people in the interim? Where are they going to park people? What are the logistics going to be? How much more difficult is it going to be to go to a Titans game? Texas Titan says, by that time, Buck's going to have a national show called Keeping It a Buck. I mean, I'm not, and listen, you guys may be in a hurry to get rid of me, but I'm not necessarily in a hurry to go. So we'll see how the contract situation goes. I'm very happy with my circumstance here. And I know that Austin and Zach have taken great care of me since they made me the A to Z Sports' first full-time employee a couple of years ago. And since then I think they now employ somewhere in the area of 50 people across 32 NFL markets. So it's been really, really cool to see the growth there. And like I said, I'm happy at the radio station. I'm happy here at A to Z. So unless you guys are trying to run me out before I'm ready to go, then in the meantime, I'm pretty happy with everything. In fact, I'm very happy with the situation around me. But these things are like I said, yeah, over under on the number of Titans on the current team that see the stadium. Like, I have no idea if I'm going to be here in 2027, right? Nobody can predict these things. So we'll keep it going at this stage. So looking around at the Titan Stadium questions, I would say parking is of the utmost beyond pricing. Pricing, you understand, is not going to be available for quite some time. But in the meantime, we certainly will continue to keep you updated. Titan Stadium, TitansNewStadium.com is where you go. Flex RFP has picked up 2 more PSLs for this year. I'm pumped. Are they any cheaper? Because we know that this, because we know that the stadium situation is gonna, obviously not be for long. Are they any cheaper? Or is it just kind of say get in at this rate now, and your PSLs, you'll get a credit towards your PSLs in the new stadium? I'm curious. Yeah, okay, that's what he says. Flex says no, but you get more credit to the new stadium, right? I had a caller today. Call into the radio show and say that he paid $1,500 for his PSLs as one of the original members, and now his same seats, based on the survey that the team sent out about 6 weeks ago, they were showing him price points around $48,000 to $50,000 from a $1,500 purchase that he made. What is it? 25 years ago. 25 years, I think, since the Titans have been here in Nashville. So it's going to be fascinating to see how many people they price out. People will get priced out. These are, unfortunately, that's how these kind of things go. And it's going to be big. It's going to be beautiful. It's also going to be expensive. And, somebody needs to foot the bill for all those things. Let's talk about some actual football tonight, since there was no practice for us to be able to attend today. We'll be back out on the practice field tomorrow. By the way, speaking of being out at practice, Kevin Byard is going to be on the radio show tomorrow. I'm excited to have KB. I think we've done, I am biased, of course, you guys know this, but I think the training camp interview series that we've done we had Rand Carthon, we've had a bunch of players at this point, including Will Levis and Malik Willis. Tomorrow will be KB. We'll have, a handful. I think we have 6 or 7 more practices that I'm going to be doing the radio show from. So we'll have a few more, but I think that these have been really, really good. The interview series this year has been really, really good, from Levis to Willis to Rashad Weaver to Rand Carthon and everybody that we've had in between. Go check all of those out and make sure you're listening for the Kevin Byard interview tomorrow on the show. Titans depth, since we're talking about KB, let's talk about the secondary, and more specifically, the corner situation on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. We're going to talk about this together. Who is the Titans' best corner right now on the roster? Right after I remind you about the wonderful people at TrueMathFitness.com, a new way to work out, the best way to work out. True Math Fitness is the place to go. They are going to get the best version of you. They are going to continue to find ways to push you physically, but not overexert you. Their coaching staff is not just there to train you. They're there to take care of you and to make sure that you are working out and improving your physical fitness in a safe and healthy manner. TrueMathFitness.com, where you go for all of your membership options to be able to have access to their great open gym facility, to take the group classes or personal training like I do. TrueMathFitness.com is the place to be. It's only 40. It only seats 40,000, says Pretty Boy Lipschitz. No, it seats. It's smaller. It seats closer to 60, but no, it's not 40,000 seat stadium. That would be, that would only be 10,000 more than Geodis Park, which is the largest soccer specific stadium in the country. But no, it's a 60. Well, actually, I have the email right here. I can tell you specifically what the capacity projections are right now prior to this stadium being actually built. Actually, it's on the website. The information for the stadium. I can give you the exact capacity situation. 62,000, roughly 62,000, 1.75 million square feet. 62,000 fans united by song. 62,000 unique touchdown dances. That's what they've written on the website, TitansNewStadium.com. So about 62,000, give or take. What is that? 7,000 less than Nissan Stadium is right now. 62 is right where it needs to be. It allows them to host a Super Bowl, but NFL stadiums are not getting bigger at this point. $40,000. I better get a hot tub with the Titans cheerleaders naked, says B French. Well, one, that's incredibly lecherous of you. Two, that's borderline prostitution, and I would not admit to that in a public setting. Three, you could do something like that, and then you and your organization would also be Dan Snyder. So in the absence of lawsuits and things of that nature, I would say horny bonk for B French in the comments section, and may God have mercy on your soul. Who's the best corner on the football team in the meantime? On Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. We'll discuss at length together. There's a couple of different options that I think people are going to nominate, but there's only one name that really I come back to right now. Eric Alonso says it should be Farley. Damn you, J-Rob. But, it should be Farley based on what? There's no guarantee. Like, I know Caleb Farley. Is Caleb Farley the highest drafted player in the Titans DB room? I want to say so. I think he's the only first-round pick. McCreary was a second. Murphy Bunting was a second. Who else? Fulton was a second. Molden was a third. Yeah, I think Caleb Farley is the highest drafted player in the Titans cornerback room. So, I would say that is, in an ideal world, that you would have wanted that to work out. But at this point, I would say that is not – Caleb Farley is not even a part of the discussion where Titans cornerbacks are concerned. And I know that that's something that's going to piss you off, but, it's just where things are at right now. Now, in the absence of Caleb Farley having worked out by any meaningful sense of the word, Christian Fulton is by far and away the best corner that the Titans have at this point. And he seems to be in the best shape, or at least he's telling us that he's in the best shape of his career.
I mean, it was very different, just a different setting, different training, different ways to take care of my body. I feel good. I feel like I was in better shape, coming into this camp. I think it shows. But I was able to, really just put together a full off-season, strictly training, and not necessarily just rehabbing something or coming off of surgery. So I think that's like the biggest difference for me coming into this off-season. Yeah, and I definitely, I felt like I had a good conditioning run, and then come day one, I was ready to go. And I think it's shown, with me getting out there every day. I think my first, 3 camps, I kind of went down maybe a day or two, early. Whatever it was, but this offseason, I've been able to stay out there day by day and be out there with the guys. Probably more leaner, probably put on more muscle. I'm pretty much the same weight, but like I said, just bigger, muscle-wise. And I think that's helped me on the field, like with my play, as far as being physical, whether that's at the line of scrimmage or, at the top of the route, which is where the routes went at.
So that's Christian Fulton speaking with us yesterday, and seems to be in a position where, he changed his workout situation, his conditioning situation, the people that he trains with this offseason. Thus far, he's been available. He's been the best corner that they have out there by a mile, and there's no question that when he is healthy, he continues to be the best corner. Mr. Jones says the Titans audio guy needs to be fired. Well, I don't know about that. Then there's a whole team of people, and also I would not call for their jobs because that's a cell phone video. That's not anything to do with it. That's not an official Titans website or press conference broadcast. That's literally video taken from Twitter from a cell phone, the same way that I tweet them. So I wouldn't get butthurt about the Titans audio people at this stage needing to be fired. So Christian Fulton, full stop, best corner that they have. I would say that the only thing that's keeping him from being indisputably CB1 is the fact that he needs to play games on a consistent basis. He needs to be available on a consistent basis. He has not done so yet. Contract year will bring out a lot of that kind of stuff in a lot of people where maybe they wouldn't be as willing to push themselves physically to the limit. But it seemed that Christian Fulton is in that kind of mindset and is approaching his training camp with that same kind of effort and energy. And it's not that he's not given effort or energy in previous training camps. It's just there seems to be a different level of intensity about him this season. And, to his credit, he's put in the work in the offseason that he thinks is going to help rectify the biggest issue that he's had, which is that availability. So let's wrap things up with a rising and falling candidate. Whose stock rose, whose stock fell this week in sports on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. We'll talk about it right after I remind you that the Primetime Show is presented by the law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands. They have practiced in Tennessee family and criminal courts in 35 counties in Middle Tennessee. As a trial lawyer, Amanda J. Gentry is tops. It's not just a saying. She means what she says. It's like Zach Bingham says all the time. Say what you mean and mean what you say. That might as well be Amanda J. Gentry's slogan. She goes above and beyond for her clients to make sure that you are getting your fundamental constitutional rights protected. In particular, if you are a father, protecting your fundamental constitutional right to be a father to your children is something that she takes a particular amount of passion in. AmandaJGentry.com is where you can find out more information about all the different services that they offer to you. Again, AmandaJGentry.com. So looking at this week in sports, whose stock rose, whose stock fell. Hashtag where Zach, says Stephen King. Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't know how long. Is Zach still doing the morning show on a regular basis? I should probably. I don't know who's on who's on with Austin regularly in the mornings, because I know Zach's all over the place right now. Hashtag where's Zach? That's pretty funny. When is I just assume that it's always Austin and Zach, but that's because that's what it's been for the past. How long has the company been in business? 6-7 years at this stage. Sam and Jack, says B-Birds. Austin's not even doing it. Oh, that's an interesting collection of human beings, but I'm intrigued by the idea of Sam and Jack doing that together. Either way, let's talk about stock up, stock down. Just when you thought Todd Downing couldn't fall any further, Aaron killing him on Hard Knocks. Todd Downing taking some heat on Hard Knocks. Here's my thing. You guys know, I mean, maybe you don't know how I feel about Hard Knocks. And listen, it doesn't mean that it's not, something that football fans can look forward to at the start of every year. So I get that. I get that what they are. I get that why football fans enjoy things like Hard Knocks and Quarterback. But I haven't watched Hard Knocks since, when was the Cleveland Browns season? Like 2019? I think it was 2019, because that was the year that they traded for OBJ. And no, I think it might have been 2018. That was prior to the OBJ trade. 2019 is when they did trade for OBJ, and the Titans opened up at Cleveland and won by a pretty healthy margin against that team that was, talked about all the offseason, Super Bowl Browns, all these different things. So Hard Knocks for me never really been it, but I'm different, right? I'm not the odd. I mean, my situation is different. My job is to go to training camp every year for the last 7 years. So the idea of watching a TV show about more football training camp is not going to appeal to me. But I think that the Hard Knocks, it's just an infomercial. It's not actual access. So if it was actual access, I would be curious about what it is that they're producing. But like I said, I didn't see any news. And if Todd Downing got ripped by Aaron Rodgers in the middle of all that, well, then I'm sure that made some Titans fans happy. Mr. Jones says Sam Phelan's stock fell from the morning show. Take on Tannehill. He clearly doesn't know football. I forgive me. I'm not going to comment on whatever it is that Sam said without knowing exactly what it is that he said. So, if you disagree with his opinion, I'm sure you can take it up with him. B. French, who is still in horny jail, says Sam Phelan, who he spells incorrectly, equals Will Levis. Buck Rising equals Ryan Tannehill, who he also spells incorrectly. One more year left. So not only has he been banished because of horny bonks, he has been banished to grammar jail. So we will allow you to revisit again. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul. It's just sometimes y'all make it too easy. Now I know I can be a jerk sometimes, but sometimes y'all make it too easy. Just do a spell check. I need to spell check too. I need to be better about it. Every once in a while I'll screw up a tweet, or I think I said Hoppins one day on TikTok instead of Hopkins. So, these things happen. But again, horny jail, grammar jail, you have to stay there until the end of the show. In fact, it is the end of the show. That's going to do it for us tonight, except I didn't tell you who my rising and falling candidate is. I will do so. I will say to you that my falling candidate would be Colin Cowherd. Dear God.
And then the third category is 20 guys who are not getting to a Super Bowl and certainly not winning it. And that's everybody else. from Baker Mayfield, Teddy Bridgewater, Dwayne Haskins, guys that are just not that it says can win Super Bowls. It's can't win Super Bowls. Okay, so 6 stars, 4 high-end starters, and 20 guys that can't win a Super Bowl.
So his graphic was wrong. His production team let him down there. It was supposed to say can't. The graphic said can. Dwayne Haskins, who passed away tragically. It's been, I think, almost a year, if not a little over a year since Dwayne Haskins passed. But Colin Cowherd is going to get heat for this. Colin Cowherd deserves to get heat for that. That's a really, really bad situation. But also, it's not just Colin's fault there. Like, there is a whole team. You guys know that I have like Bert and Lucas, right? Bert and Lucas work on the various shows that we do, just as I do. There is a team of probably 20 to 25 people around Colin Cowherd who also let that get through the cracks. So while Colin is going to be the face of that, and again, Colin needs to be better, he cannot make that mistake about Dwayne Haskins. His production staff let him down in a huge way. I'm certain that there was some kind of repercussion taken, because not only did they do a poor job, did they do a lazy job on the graphic itself for it to say can instead of can't. They included the name of a quarterback who has since passed on in ways that I'm sure were deeply hurtful to the Haskins family. Anyway, that's going to do it for us tonight. We appreciate you guys spending your time here with us on a nightly basis. It's always fun. Radio show is going to be great tomorrow. Go check out that on 104.5 The Zone, just as we live stream the primetime show. The radio show is also live streamed on 104.5 The Zone's YouTube channel. You can subscribe to that and join us there Monday through Friday, 10 to 1 on 104.5 The Zone. Tomorrow's Titans training camp guest is Kevin Byard. So if you want to listen to that, you can listen to that live on FM radio. You can watch that on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch on 104.5 The Zone YouTube platform. Stephen King says, Buck's tired. I'm always tired at this time of year, but you know why? Because it's football season, and that is the best time of year. So I'm okay with being tired. As long as you guys are okay putting up with me when I'm tired, that's okay, because I'm not quite tired enough yet. It's just getting started, and I'm fired up to get on that plane Friday night and cover a game, even if it is the preseason, on Saturday in Chicago. Have a great rest of your evening. I'll talk to you tomorrow on 104.5 The Zone. See you guys.
Are you surprised to hear that?
Certainly not. The first year we took it to the limit. And I was in Miami with my new beach house. Well, it was a couple minutes from the beach.
It's been 20 years since then. We haven't been too strong in the last few years.
Oh, we've been strong. We're just playing by the rules. You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.